got a 1, a 2, and you better believe it, a number 3 counting, and a metal mic coming at you. Where am I? I'm in the transit. What am I doing? I'm hitting the road right now. Hitting the road doing what? I'm hitting the alleys. Old effing school. Been doing a lot of hard thinking lately. And the reality of it is these alley runs are the best opportunity you have to score treasure. I don't care how advanced of a collector you are. I don't care. You can sit there and turn your nose up at it. There we go. That covers it, right? And sit there and go, oh, hell no. I know where there's plenty of estate sales. I know how to network. I know how to do this. Yes, indeed. We all can learn that, but you must not turn your back on the simple. Driving the alleys, driving the streets. Don't ever forget Lamont Sanford. That's right, Sanford and Son. Because basically, Lamont would get in his old pickup truck and drive every day. Now, this guy here is interesting. You say, who is this guy you're talking about? It's a guy that lives in this tiny little house. I'm driving by his property right now. I see that he has a stand-up gas pump. Now, that was new. This guy's new. I seen an old hit-or-miss motor out here once. This guy's a junker picker. I'm going to catch him out in his garage and I'm going to score. I'm going to buy something from him. But right now, man, we are going back to the roots. We are keeping it simple. Now right here, here's a garbage can. And there's a skateboard next to it. Speed flex. Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Vicious. This is brutal. There's 3 broken skateboards sticking out of the garbage can. Love it. It doesn't get any effing better. Yes, I found a Veriflex. Yes, I found 3 broken, useless skateboards. But the reality of it is, they're rad. These are a score. The Veriflex is radical. It's a 1980s, and the graphics on it, it was almost, I want to say, what's that guy's name? That old, you're saying, who the hell are you yapping about now? What's that old rat rod dude's name? Jesus, whatever. It's radical. The one deck is a cool old 1980s skateboard deck. And yeah, I'm still filming because what are we doing? We're going down more streets, more alleys. Tomorrow morning is garbage day. So, I'm trying to strike right now. This is what I used to do, literally 5 days a week. Now, let's get back to my point. Let's try to stay on point. So we just scored some skateboards. You say, Mike, we can't see them. Trust me, when I stop the vehicle to load up the next item, I'm going to take you out to the back there, and you're going to see the skateboards firsthand. So, getting back to my philosophy in view, and suddenly a turnaround on my thoughts on the. It's just within the last couple of weeks I started thinking. I was like, you know what? A lot of the passion's going out of the game. I'm not filming a lot. I'm obviously not out there like I had expressed in my videos, doing just how my life had changed basically from being out 6-7 days a week, cleaning out estates, dumpstering, driving, doing it all, to now just taking care of family and having very limited time to do this anymore. But I started thinking on it, and I was like, geez, you know, I've kind of snubbed it in a way. I don't go out as often as I used to. And when I do, I do kind of stick to the garage sales, and I've kind of shied away from the picking in the dumpsters. But the real deep thinking is, you know, the best treasures I ever found, were free. They were on the curb. Yeah, it was a lot of senseless driving, a lot of gas wasted, but it wasn't wasted because in the end, it was there. So I want to stress to the point of just getting out and drive. Now remember, you don't have to find nothing. It isn't even, you don't have to worry so much about that. It's going to come to you. Eventually, you're going to find it. I just found those fucking skateboards. The Veriflex, the low end is $25. That's a score, and it's free. I can't push that anymore. But getting back to it, the bones of this issue, this rant, is just getting out there, because there's no other place that you're going to have a pure opportunity. A pure opportunity. That's like digging up a dinosaur. You say it's impossible. It's not fucking impossible. You must stay on point about it. Yes, most of the time you're going to see shit and garbage, but there's going to be the odd times when someone is going to drag some old antique out of the cellar or the basement and put it on the curb. I have been there. I have seen it. I have lived it. 49 years old. I've easily got 40 years in the game of dragging my feet through alleys. I mean, literally, I grew up doing it, so I have seen it repeated. You say, well, how can that happen in this day and age, Mike? Everyone is so wise. Why would someone throw an antique out? You know, I can't give an individual answer to that as to why a certain person would throw something out, other than the fact that as much passion as love that we have, and even passion and love for antiques and collectibles aside, even from a financial viewpoint, if you're just strictly in it for the money, you know, you're seeing money in it, and it has value. Some people do not see it that way. Some people detest old stuff. Some people could care less. Some people are so very busy, they simply don't have the energy nor the time. They simply want that spot in the garage cleaned out. They want that basement empty. Grandma's dresser they've been dragging around for 25 years, you know, in the garage, and they look at it one day when they're cleaning out the garage and they're like, you know what, F it, I'm never gonna do this, I've been carrying it, and F it, I'll just give it, and they release it, and it feels good to them, and that's okay, and it feels good to you too if you can find it. So that's what we're out doing right now. Am I a little hyped up? Yeah, man. Finding those skateboards right off the bat. Now, at first, so the skateboard was leaned against the garbage can. There were some telltale signs. I thought, shit, you know, you don't want to grab a skateboard where someone just went in the house, you know, and lean their skateboard up there. But I looked at it, and it was definitely an older skateboard from the 1980s, early 90s at the very least. And, but then there were 3 skateboards sticking out of the garbage bin itself. And what that did is it locked it in. Someone's throwing these skateboards out. They thought the one's in the garbage, which one was broken. But a lot of people, they reuse these damn things. They hang them on the wall for art. You can incorporate them into another piece of junk if you have. If you've got an old crate that's missing a top, you can nail a skateboard to the top with some old wood screws you pull out of something else. And people all of a sudden think that that's a great little piece of art. And they love it. So, man, hitting the alleys, hitting the dump, man, this is what it's all about. I love getting out and, you know, and just identifying that to myself and just saying, you know what, F it, get out there, because where else are you just going to find a cool odd piece? Sure, the hoard is ridiculous. I've got shit stacked in the garage, but why not add to it? I'm only fucking 49 years old. That's it. I'm not even halfway in the game yet. There's a long road ahead. I got plenty of time. So why not just save this old shit at the very least? Remember, we don't own none of it. You know, we're just saviors of history. Saviors, huh? What's a savior? Someone that saves someone's soul, maybe? It sounds a little over dramatic. These guys here. So just randomly hit an alley. If you're out and about, you got to go to the grocery store, you know of an alley, just go hit it. If you know an alley that goes north, south, east, west, and you can just pop on it and cruise down it. If you're a delivery guy, you know, there's lots of opportunities. Of course, the game has changed with that. Now they've got all that kind of, they can track where your car is and shit. I was blessed in the late 90s. I did food delivery for Lee and Chin, if you can believe it. And what was really cool about that is, you know, that was before they had like a tracker in the car. So if I went out a certain way and I could find something, an alley to shoot down, well, hell, you know, I shot down that alley. That was interesting. See, I always find all kinds of interesting stuff in the alleys. Like right there, it was nothing I could use at the moment. yet I could have scooped it. What was it? It was just it almost looked like a gate, homemade, of 3 pieces of very old plywood, very well put together with hinges. And that was the kind of shit that back in the day when I had the luxury of being with Gilbert Marty, my stepdad over there in St. Paul, that was bliss because I had a way to get rid of it. Uh-oh, we got a moving truck. Now this is always an interesting little bit of info. It says sold, so you've got the movers there. So what you want to do is you want to hit the alley because they just sold the house. So you know what that means? They might have put something out by the dumpster. You never know. And these are things you're looking for. You're looking for an estate being cleaned out. Somebody moving. That is a trigger. So now we whip down this alley. Because we just seen the moving truck and they had it out. I actually hit this alley, I think, the other day. And there was nothing. But right now I seen that moving truck. That intrigues me. It makes me want to look. And sure, there's a couple things. There's a fire pit, some real high-end water skis. Fuck. See? But it's what are you going to do? You'll drown in it. And that's what was golden about Gilbert. So there, I mean, there was some things to grab. There was an old fire pit. I'll tell you why I typically don't mess with those. A lot of the time they leave all the ashes and the shit in it. And you know, unless you've got an old pickup truck that you don't care if you spill in it, you can just dump it in there. That was the great thing about the old days of driving an old van. I had a broom and a scoop in the back. Fuck, water skis. There might be some value on those. Tough call, tough call, tough call. So we'll go hit the alley. Where I'm going right now is I know where there's a dumpster that they've been throwing out vintage toys. I think I shot a video a couple weeks ago of what I had found in that alley. So that's where I'm headed right now to see if any more toys are sitting out by the garbage can. Because it's typically every Thursday I've been going there and finding something. I'll probably, if I don't score anything, I'll kick back through that alley and I'll grab those water skis. And I'll take a look at that fire pit. But for right now, you know, we're passing. Now there's some old cabinets. Shit. It's out today, I tell you. I knew it would be out today, and I'll tell you why, because tomorrow's garbage day. And the weather has been beautiful here in Minnesota. And the Vikings didn't play on Sunday, so it got people to do a lot of cleaning. When the Vikings don't play on Sunday, there's not a lot of football fans in Minnesota, so they don't watch all the other games, so they'll be bored as shit. They'll go out and they'll clean out the garage. Remember that in your hometowns. Remember that a lot of them are only local fans, so on a day where your team maybe plays on a Monday night, those Sundays, if it's beautiful out too, remember that good weather is a huge trigger to people to throw stuff out. If it's been a gorgeous Sunday, Monday morning is a great time to hit the alley. It's just a wonderful time because you're really going to find something if it's there. I keep thinking about those water skis. It's ridiculous, you know. It's just that's the obsessive, compulsive nature of my mind. I need some fucking water skis. No, but it's just like that. You're wondering. You're like, oh, geez. Pumpkins! So, I think this... Come on, Grandma! I almost bumped into her. See, my focus goes off. I get a little... See, this is the difference between a few years ago. Now, with social media and shit, driving through alleys is not a comfortable feeling like it used to be. You know, it used to be really kind of a casual situation. Now, you just have so many retards. Nothing by the garbage, which is a relief. Because now I can breathe a sigh. Now I don't have to worry that I missed anything there. But yeah, so it's just like, yeah, that uncomfortableness. I didn't used to get this when I was younger. Maybe I did. Or younger. I wasn't that much younger. It was only 10, 15 years ago. But I sure as hell... Now there's a dumpster. Fuck, that looks like a good one. That looked like a good one. We gotta go circle around that one. There was a guy walking around it, but I'm still gonna go take a look at it. You just never know with these dumpsters. You know, if you see construction and debris, it's a relief, because then you know. But man, when they clean out an old estate, you can literally pull a diamond out of these dumpsters. So this guy here, he's looking. That is a tall fucking dumpster. I guarantee you that's an estate that's highly loaded. Traffic control. Yeah, they cleaned that house out. Fuck. The thing is that dumpster is so fucking tall. I can't work it, man. That's how I blew my calf out. I was on a dumpster half that size, and I would jump down back in the day. I'd have a fucking... That's how you'd have to do it, because the dumpster would be so full that I would have to just jump down with a box on my shoulder. So that was common back in the day. Well, I ended up doing an estate and jumping down from this dumpster a bunch and scored some really fucking cool shit. But then the next day, my calf literally felt like someone had just hit it with a baseball bat, punched it. And I was like, fuck, I kind of just blew it off as part of the deal, you know. I knew that I probably had heard it jumping out of the dumpster. But then it was fine, and I didn't think nothing of it. The very next day, so what I had done is I tore my calf partially that day, jumping down off that dumpster, holding that shit. Because when I would do that, I would jump down, a big box on my shoulder, and you try to land it like a skateboarder. So I must have tore the calf partially. Well, the next day, I was just staring out the window, and so down the street, I see someone's got this wheelchair. Check out how fucking creepy and ironic this is. So someone had this wheelchair, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get it. I could get $25 for that thing. Da-da-da, I'm thinking. And so, what the hell is this? Old wood? Yeah. So I went, and finally, I had a minute. The wife got home, and I was able to jump in the van, drive half a block from my house. I could see this damn thing from my kitchen window. Jump out, throw the wheelchair in, and I'm just basically up on the bumper that's no more than a foot off the ground. I leap back like I'd done a million times before and land on the leg that had felt like it'd been punched. Boom, I felt a pop. I immediately buckled and dropped. And that was it. I tore the calf. I was out of commission forever. It was a nightmare. So, be careful out there. That's why I can't dare go to that big dumpster today, because I would literally have to jump down off of that fucking thing. It was topped off. But I could see the house was cleaned out. If I was in a younger game, or even if I had a crew, if I had a shop and I had a crew of guys, which would be the dream, now I would call back to the shop and say, all right, the address is blah, blah, blah. I spotted it. See, now somebody threw a toolbox out there. Let's take a look at that, huh? You gotta love it. So I'm going to take you with me. And we can see together. So someone has set an old toolbox out on here, which we'll scoop. Let's see if there's anything in it. A couple old tools. Whatever, nice old metal toolbox for the flea market. Now let's look at these skateboards from earlier. So we have these three, which are nothing. But this is the cool one. This is the Speed Freak Veriflex. Look at that. Look at the graphics on there. Vintage. Just gotta love it. So we grab the old toolbox. We grab the old baseball bat. So we got an old 70s little kid's baseball bat, 3 skateboards, and a beautiful toolbox, and I think we've rambled enough for today, right? Hey now, Metal Mike, out in the alleys, junking old school, having fun, sticking you in there with no good camera shot. Back to the hunt. See what I mean? This is where you would